I don't really have a plan, but kind of sort of the start of the plan is that we started making a couple of cards on Tuesday Nights Live using the Propagation Garden, and I had already put away my supplies for that, and I pulled them back out because yeah, if I'm showing you the cards I made, I should probably show you what I used, right? There we go. Okay, and I'm going to zoom it in a little bit. The zoom isn't always that good, but it will help you see it a little bit better. So this one, so when I was working on Tuesday night, and we started off with the embossing folder. This one is called Leafy Helix with some ink blending for the background, and then I die cut it out using an arch frame, and then I did the embossing, and then I went over the top. So the reason it's lighter there is because I went over it with some white pigment ink, and I think that turns out really pretty. Okay, back a little bit smaller. And then these are some of the Better Press. Yeah, I watercolored those. They were so nice. So I watercolored a bunch of them, and I basically just sat here watching Grimm yesterday and watercolored a bunch of those leaves, and I think they turned out really, really pretty. Okay, Frosty Tools is up. So let's see what Frosty Tools is saying over on Twitch. So there is an ad or break over there. So Frosty Tools says, can you name the golden Cocker Spaniel that was the beloved pet of the famous poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning? Find out when the ad ends in less than a minute. So that is over on Twitch. To avoid the ads over there, if you are watching over on Twitch, we'll plan on streaming a bit longer over on that side. All you need to do is just become a sub on my channel. Yeah, there, and Amazon Prime is free. So anyway, this is the first one. So since I was doing the Better Press and I was watercoloring up all of those little images, which I still have extras. Yeah, was watercoloring up the images and die cutting them out and all the things, and I love how these guys turned out, but I wound up not using them on any of the cards. But I had a lot of fun doing that, and then I went ahead and did a few more. So I wound up making more cards. Now, another thing that was in the collection, let me pull out that one first. So we've got the Better Press, which is called, which I can't see because I moved the thing. This one I think is Propagation Garden. I don't remember the name of it. It is called, come on, where's the thing? This one is called Tropical Leaves, and that's perfect for Florida. Okay, Elizabeth Barrett Browning's cherished Cocker Spaniel's name was answered to the name of Blush. Okay, so anyway, we've got these tropical leaves. So some of these I've actually got in my yard, which is kind of cool. I live in Florida. My husband has kind of gone insane when it comes to plants. So we have several different ones that are the fan palms. And this one could be, I'm trying to think of what we were saying this one was. This one could be a philodendron. There are some different philodendron ones, and this one's kind of got a heart-shaped leaf, and you can have them in different colors, but I decided to put them in the middle with the red, and this makes it a caladium, so I think that is kind of cool. Caladium. Did I not say caladium?
Well, it could be a philodendron, too.
I said both.
But caladium.
Okay, Todd says caladium. Hey, Terry Cooper. Welcome, welcome. How you doing, honey? And then these big leaves, when we were thinking about it, they look a lot like banana leaves. Now, I've got several different bananas in my yard, and they do have different colors on the leaves themselves, which is one of the ways that you see them. And Terry Cooper's putting the little hi kitty up all over the screen. Love it, love it. I don't know how we managed to do the love it thing. Oh, that's because Terry Cooper got off a pyramid, and I didn't remember that I put the love it as one of the one of the things for that. So that's kind of cool. Okay, I forgot that I didn't have my face in the corner. Now you can see me. I'm looking at the camera, and yeah, y'all can't see me. Anyway, another thing that was in here, so we've got this as one of the pieces of the Propagation Garden Collection. We've got these fun Better Press plates, which I love Better Press. And if you want to see how I did the pressing on those, take a look at the live stream from Tuesday night because we did that. Hey, Ryan, welcome, welcome. It was you. Okay, it was you and you're lurking. Okay, well, thank you so much. You're a nut. Okay, so next, for the sentiment on all of these, I used the thank you from this older Simon Hurley Sketch Florals stamp set that is unfortunately no longer available. I wish they would bring it back out. And then the last bit that I've got from the collection is this guy. Now this is kind of cool. So we've got this square frame that you can create, or you can make this one where you're holding your little bottles that are your since it's propagation, it's basically seedlings. You can hold your seedlings and such there. I do not have the die that is for the bottles or for those additional seedling plants, but I made something similar using a couple of the little bottles that are in the Simon Hurley floral set, which is the reason I pulled this one out. I thought, you know, I think that'll work. So this is what I was able to create from that. So I stamped out these two, did a little watercoloring in there for the blue color. Again, just using the same pencils. I'm using my watercolor pencils from Tim Holtz. I've been using that for all of my watercoloring, and it is giving me a lot of practice, and they're really, really easy to use, okay? So I did that. I also added, which I don't do much, I took out my Gansai Tambi gold watercolors and did a bunch of splatter on these. So I think they turned out so cool. And then I went back over it. It looks like glossy accents and it is similar. There are different products that do the same kind of thing. My glossy accents that I used to have clogged up so bad I wound up finally throwing it out because I couldn't get it to work. And I had this still in my stash, so I was using this one. Is called Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. It's basically the same stuff. It makes this, when it dries, it's this nice shiny, I wanted it to look kind of like a bottle. So that's what I did there. And I think that turned out. And there was only one of the plants out of the Better Press set that has a long enough stem, but it still wasn't long enough to actually go into the bottle. So I just drew the stem down, and I think that turned out pretty cute. So I did one with it on that side. And then I did another one like that with the stem going out this side, but then I also created this background. Now the reason for this background, this one was actually inspired by Mr. Jim Eber, because he said, why don't you could probably emboss that, but what he was actually meaning was like doing a deboss background. So I did some debossing, and I don't know if you can see the texture. There we go. If I put the shade on there, you can see the texture. These are done with those plates. They're individual plates. You just basically have to position them right to be able to do a full coverage, because there's only enough to do about half a page. So I did some on some watercolor cardstock. There was still some green ink left, even though I had cleaned them. There was still a little bit of green ink left, but I think that turned out pretty cool. You can see a little bit of the green on there. It's got some gold splatter on there, and I used one of the wax seals that I made, and then I had used some gold paint marker to go over the top. That was one of the ones that I just got from, I think it was Karen. Yeah, it was like my Karen gold marker that I really haven't used for anything yet, but that turned out, I think, pretty cool. So I'm happy. I'm really happy with all of those. So for this one, I did basically the same kind of thing. So I did the positioning for the entire background, but went ahead and pressed them with some of the blue Better Press ink. That one, let me grab out the paint, the inks. That one was called, this one was done in French blue. And then I had to do another one. So this one, I did the same kind of pattern, and I did that in the hydrangea. And I absolutely love this one. I almost put additional die cuts on top, and then I thought, that is perfect just the way it is. So yeah, I love how that one turned out. So did that. The other half of the panel that I did from watercolor, I put onto a second one. So I've got one is going as a horizontal card. The other one is vertical. This one's got the 3 leaves and that same sentiment. So it's basically, I asked you guys in that other live stream, I did a poll whether or not you thought that I started with a card in mind, or did I just play and make it up as I go along. This is a perfect example of my seat of the pants type of crafting, where I play with everything and then I figure out how do I want it to go together. That also means that sometimes I have too many extras, or not enough of something, and I have to do a little bit of finagling that way. And the only reason I didn't put these bits onto more cards is because I didn't have enough additional panels still done. So yeah. After doing okay, so after I did this first one here, okay, who's here? Who's here? Hi, Miss Jennifer. Welcome, welcome. So after doing this, I actually did 2 watercolor panels. This one I did a little bit larger, and there's a little bit more of the green showing in it. Hello, Miss Melissa. And I think they still turned out pretty. And then I did some more. These were with the hydrangea ink. The last one I did do another panel using the embossing folder, and this time I decided to do what I've done in some past ones, and that is put ink on the embossing folder before sending it through. Okay, so you've got the raised pieces are going to still be white, and then the lower pieces are going to be that other color. So I did that in green, and then I did a little bit of ink blending around the edge, which I did here too, because I wanted to do a vignette kind of thing. Splattered everything in gold and just started taking my pieces and putting them together. And I think all the cards turned out awesome. I have to go back and look, but I think, didn't I say something about, I think Melissa was one of the winners, right? Melissa, you were one of my winners from Tuesday night, right? Pretty sure that was what the case was. And I think she's ready for a little bit of tropical. Let's see if I can fit all of them here without my head in the way. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to do this then. Miss Melissa, there are 8 cards. You get to pick which one do you want me to send off to you. Since you are here, and then I'll pick something else. I believe Linda was the other winner. And right now I'm looking for my Post-its, because I did have some little Post-its here. This is what happens when I clean up my desk area. I've been moving things around and that sort of thing, so things do wind up. I changed the home for them, and that means I can't find them because they're not in their previous home. It's okay. I can put one of my cards. So Melissa hasn't said what she wants yet. I think she's thinking about it. But I love the way all of these turned out. This one is, I'm going to put this one over here because that one's horizontal. There we go. And I still have to get the rainbow one. So she likes the one that we were making the other night. So this one is going to be for Miss Melissa. And then I get to pick from the others. And now I have a bunch more thank you cards to go into my stash.